Good evening. My name is Rajesh. This story happened around the late 1980s, when I was 14 years old with a younger sister who was 6 years old at the time. My mom and my dad lived in a house located on an estate. Daddy was assigned to be the manager of corn plantation estate. While being offered work, Daddy asked to take us to move there. That's why he was given the trust by the manager to live in the house of the former owner of the estate, which has been empty for a long time. This house is a bungalow. The property are spacious, two-story house and got basement room on the ground floor. In the first floor there is a living room, a kitchen, a reading room, and a one room for guests. On the second floor there are 5 rooms. One is the main room, one is my room, and the other is my sister's room. While there are many empty rooms at the end of the corridor, we were initially scared. The house has been empty for a long time, the atmosphere was gloomy and it's dark. But after a week of being there, we start to adjust and didn't feel scared anymore. I once asked Daddy about the house. Daddy told me that the original owner of house was a white man from Germany. His name is Klaus Hendrik. He is the original owner of the estate where Daddy works. Klaus lives with his wife and 3 children. But something happened in this house that made Klaus sell his estate to the government. Before returning to Germany, Daddy said Klaus Hendrik returned alone without his family. I was surprised and asked, "Daddy, he did have a family, why did he come back alone? Where is his family?" Daddy just kept quiet and changed the topic, leaving me and my sister curious, who were listening to the story wondering. But even though Daddy never told me the real story, my sister and I could find out for ourselves through several incidents that happened a month after we moved in. Among our routine at home, my sister and I went to school in the morning, while Daddy works at the estate and Mom is at home. After coming home from school, I will follow Daddy around the estate area while sister will be at home with Mom. Among Daddy's routines every evening, he will take me riding with his motorcycle and we will go around the estate area following the dirt path outside the fence. Daddy said this is a daily inspection he has to do to make sure nothing strange and unwanted happens before the workers rest at night. I'm actually okay following Daddy, but sometimes I feel pounding. Why? Because there is a part of the estate that is located close to a forest area that for some reason, every time we pass through the area, my hair always goosebumps. The forest area looks dark. The trees in the forest are also big and tall. Every time we crossing the area, I will tell Daddy to ride the motorbike a little faster until one day, there was an incident when our motorbike broke down when we were in the area I told earlier. We got off the motorbike and Daddy said he could fix it. So I just say okay and wait. We could just push the motorbike, but I don't know why Daddy is a bit stubborn. If he wants to do it, he will do it until he gets it. He doesn't care what other people say, so I sat on the side watching Daddy checking the motorbike. Not far from him is the forest I thought about just now. As long as I was sitting, waiting, my hair already goosebumps. I tried not to look toward the forest, but my ears still hurt apart from the sound of the winds and crickets. From far away, I heard a faint voice that I knew, the voice of a girl whispering us, "Where is my doll? Where is my doll? Where is my doll?" I was surprised to hear that voice because that voice was like the voice of my younger sister. I immediately stood up and hugged my daddy. I said, "Daddy, don't you hear anyone's voice?" Daddy looked and said, "There is nothing. Now sit down there with Daddy walking on the bike." I was already shivering. "I don't want to sit far away." I said, right next to the motorcycle. In 10 minutes like that, the voice sounded again. This time it said, "Where is my doll? Where is my doll? Rajesh." She said my name and she knew my name. This time the tears are falling like a waterfall. I sat with Daddy. Daddy listened to that voice. Daddy looked at me. He frowned and said, "Hey, you're Rajesh. It's okay, let's push until we get to the house." I hugged Daddy's hand and followed him, pushing the motorbike. This time I noticed Daddy's hair on the handle also rose, indicating that he too heard that voice and felt horrible. But he intentionally ignoring it. Well, it's just a typical classic that these men are always a ghost. When I think back, I think it's funny that was the first incident. The second incident happened 3 days after that. It was like that thing followed us home. I started hearing my sister's voice at night on the first floor of the house, even though we were all sleeping on the second floor in our respective rooms. Around 3 o'clock in the morning, I heard, "Where is my doll? Where is my doll? Did anyone saw my doll? Did anyone saw my doll?" I don't care that voice because I know my sister is sleeping in her room. I told this to Daddy and Mom, but Daddy is used to his ego. He said it was just my imagination. Not until the incident got worse. This time it was my younger sister who got haunted. Around 1 o'clock in the morning, I woke up because I heard the sound of the door of my sister's room opening, followed by her footsteps coming out in the corridor before going downstairs. I wonder if my sister was the type of coward. She won't leave the room when everyone is asleep. Even if she wants to pee, she's willing to wait until the morning instead of going out in the middle of the night. One by one, I hear my sister's footsteps walking down the stairs, which make me worry and leaves the room. When I opened the door, she seemed to be talking to someone. She said, "Your doll isn't here." I heard my sister say that. I was surprised because we were all fall asleep. Who was she talking to? I walked slowly out to the second floor corridor and picked up from floor down. Right after I looked down, my body almost fell to the floor. When behind the darkness appeared a girl who mimics like my sister, standing in front of her and said, "My doll was down there. Come with me to find it," while the thing pointed towards the door to go to the basement. Even though I almost passed out, I screamed from upstairs, "Sister, don't follow her." Immediately after I screamed, Sister turned up to see me and the thing disappeared immediately. Dad and Mom woke up because they heard scream. Earlier they came out the room in a daze to see me and my sister. I explained everything, and from there Daddy started to believe in the disturbances that I have been telling all this time. Many more strange events that often happen, and every time that thing appears, you will hear children's voice. Girl asking, "Where is my doll?" to the point where my mom bought dozens of dolls and put them in the living room, hoping that the things would stop. But no, she still wanted her doll. Daddy was stuck and didn't know what to do until he seeks for help from the local people. Apparently, the apparition of the girls looking for her doll was always seen around the house. They believed that it was the spirit of Agnes, the daughter of the former owner of this house, according to the stories of the locals. There used to be a scary incident in this house. The original owner, Klaus Henrik, had a big fight with his wife. It is said that Klaus' wife accused her of cheating with one of the estate workers. The situation becomes so tense that Klaus killed his wife. What is tragic, Klaus and other children also became victims, except his youngest daughter, named Agnes. Agnes managed to escape, and she disappeared without a trace, and has not been found until today. Even though we have known the true story of what happened here, but we were still stuck and depressed with interference from Agnes until one night Daddy was moved by his determination to check the basement. Even though it had been months since we moved in, no one had ever gone down to the basement. Daddy opened the basement door and saw a dark staircase leading to the bottom. My mom and my sister were behind Daddy, anxiously nervous to see Daddy continuing to go down. The more Daddy went down, the more he disappeared from our sight, which made us worried. In 15 minutes like that, it was quiet. We didn't see anything below. It was just darkness. Suddenly a child was heard saying, "I've seen it, thank you." Daddy ran with panic, went up, scaring us who were waiting. Daddy said, "Call the police now, call the police." Apparently Daddy had found out. A girl skeleton that had already rotten in the corner behind the closet. Hidden from view next to the skeleton, there was a white rabbit doll that belonged to Agnes. During the murder incident took place a few decades ago, Agnes was actually hiding in the basement due to not being able to come out and left behind. She died there apparently. All this time Agnes wanted her body to be found. That's why she often appeared. Agnes was buried in one of the cemeteries. Her tombstone was written with the name Agnes Hendrik. Well, who knows? One day Klaus Hendrik will come back. At least he knew where his daughter was buried. For us, after that incident, there were no more disturbances. We lived there until I finished high school and moved to the city. To this day, if anyone asks about my childhood, this is the story that I will tell. A story that I will never forget.